Assalamu alaikum everyone. Here we have Israel sending tanks into the West Bank. Clearly it's part of their plan to take over all Palestine, and they want to come back to Gaza. They will come back to Gaza. So they are trying to ruin the ceasefire. They are trying to end the ceasefire, or because of some slight or whatever, Hamas is trying to humiliate us. They have humiliation ceremonies for our citizens, for our Israeli captives. Oh, please. If you look at how the hostages look compared to how the Palestinian hostages look, yeah, Palestinians are also hostages taken by the Israeli army, by the IDF, then you could see the difference. It's vast. There's no comparison to who has been treated better, who has been treated in a more humane fashion. And then on top of that, you also have Israel in Syria, and Netanyahu threatening Ahmad al-Shara from involving his military from having his military come to the south of Damascus. So they've taken over southwestern Syria, and from the Golan Heights onto the towns after that. And he's actually talking about having a demilitarized zone. He wants them to demilitarize themselves. He doesn't want Syria to have their own army. He wants them to be demilitarized. Why does Netanyahu want them to be demilitarized, even though Ahmad al-Shara is not a threat? If anything, he was an ally of Netanyahu's, a secret ally, in that he was actually receiving aid in medical treatment in the Golan Heights, and weapons from Israel and the US. So that was how Ahmad al-Shara was able to fight Bashar al-Assad and defeat him, because Assad, he gave permission to Iran and Hezbollah to deal with each other in Syrian territory. That was the pipeline for Iran to get weapons over to Hezbollah. So, and also supposedly, despite all his tyrannical attributes and as being a dictator himself, Al-Assad was seen as someone who was a legitimate ruler somewhat. So it would be very difficult for Netanyahu to attack Syria and take over towns while Assad was in power. That's why he had to take him down. He was very happy that he was defeated, and there were even members of Netanyahu's own cabinet that were boasting about how they brought down Assad. They brought him down because they're the ones that got involved. They're the ones who, if anything, they were members of al-Shara's party, of his camp, that they were really happy. They were celebrating when Nasrallah, the head of Hezbollah, was killed by Israel. They were celebrating. They were thanking Netanyahu. So you can't really say there was no allyship there, that they were not in cahoots with each other to bring down Assad. So yes, while I am glad that Assad is down, this was just very convenient for Netanyahu once he was down, and then all of a sudden al-Shara is not his friend anymore. He's not a secret ally anymore. He was just a means to an end. And then after that, you have Trump trying to revive a plan that Biden failed in, which was to basically bribe Egypt, and by extension Jordan, into taking in Palestinian civilians, which would be a terrible plan, not least of standing because Jordan itself has at least half the population. They are the descendants of Palestinian refugees. Some of them, they're old enough to still be Palestinian refugees. So, and there's even been a civil war in Jordan. So this is something that Jordan cannot tolerate, and Egypt too, by extension, because Palestinian resistance, if they're For sure there would be Palestinian resistance, violent and justifiable Palestinian resistance, which would unfortunately have Israel come into Egypt and Jordan, and because they want to, for security, for reasons of security, they want to destroy them, and by extension everyone around them. And this will be Gaza 2.0, in Jordan, in Egypt, in Lebanon if possible, Lebanon, wherever Israel can go, wherever they have a justification somehow for offense is defense. That has always been their mentality. And any land grabs that they have, any land that they grab in the process, that is, to them, these are the spoils of war. And this is textbook colonialism. Why is it though that Trump is getting more attention compared to Biden and Blinken? Well, that's because Blinken, like Biden, they would employ soft language that would sympathize with the Palestinians, and they go wishy-washy and say, no, we believe that they are entitled to live in their own country, but they don't actually believe it. They would rather that the Palestinians quietly leave into Jordan and Egypt and then go, well, it's Hamas's fault. Hamas were the ones that destroyed them and caused Israel to come in, and their lives were already destroyed before, and Israel then came in, and unfortunately they had to leave because it was untenable for them to live there. But look, there's peace in the region now. There's peace and stability because only the Israelis are there now. So huzzah. That's what Blinken and Biden and the other ideologues of their ilk, these are true Zionists there. Trump, he's not a true Zionist. Trump is a businessman, really. So when it comes to Trump, he is not really making decisions based out of an ideology. He's making decisions that he believes are best for him. Not necessarily best for his country, but best for his own interests. And that's why he kept going back and forth during the election when he was campaigning. He said, if Hamas doesn't listen, if Hamas does not do as I say, there's going to be all hell broken loose on them, or something to that effect. They have to release all the hostages by the time I get elected. That didn't happen. And that's because, let's face it, the reality is Trump can't do worse than what Biden has already done. Really. So, and he recognized that. He recognized that these people were not going to, they were like, fine, do your worst, whatever. And then he was like, I could force the Israelis' hand. And he did. And he was able to do that. That shows how much power the American president has, that he could easily convince the Israeli government, convince Netanyahu to do what has to be done to stop the ceasefire. But then Netanyahu came in and he was trying to do damage control with him and with other Congress people. And now he's got Trump on his side again. That's the thing. You have to try and force Trump to see things your way. And so that's what's going on, really. But Trump, as much as I can't stand this man, the one thing I like about him is he tells you out loud what Democrats are doing in secret. So at least everyone knows where he's coming from. Everyone knows where he stands. And this is something that scares American politicians. It especially scares the Zionists in the US and in Israel. So that's all I got to say about all this. And please like and subscribe. Thank you.